Let's do it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Khabib fans.
What's up?
Got some Khabib fans here for the channel.
Yes,
and you guys watch the podcast. I had a quick question because I do the podcast. Now I'm podcasting with you on my camera. Wow. That's what it's like. So what's your name?
Brandon.
Brandon and?
I'm Eaton.
Eaton. Nice to meet you. You guys local?
Yeah, we're from San Jose.
San Jose guys? Khabib fans since the beginning?
Yeah, I kind of picked up on him around Michael Johnson fight.
Yeah.
And then I met the guy. You know, I thought he was really cool. And ever since I've been a big fan. Going to UFC 249, saving a lot of money. But it's going to be worth it to see. And still.
So how was it? Was it hard to find hotels out there in Brooklyn?
I actually got lucky because as soon as they announced it, I got an Airbnb right next to the Barclays Center.
Yeah?
It's like, it was pretty affordable. I figured by now it's probably a little bit more expensive, but
Oh, for sure.
flights was the main struggle with, because it's on the weekend.
Now, you watch the podcast. I have a question because I don't watch myself and I do it with Javier. What is it that you like about it? What is it that you get out of it as a fan? I'm just curious.
Well, of course, like every time you have insight on
the fighters and stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's always interesting because I always like want to learn more or like know more about the fighters and stuff like that, and then you give us like one-on-one perspective on it.
You get to hear from a coach, right? Which, like, never in time since technology, we never had this opportunity, if you think about it, right? You know, like Tyson's coach, he didn't have a podcast, he didn't have a show. If he had, if the technology didn't exist back then, it would have been interesting to hear, right? So there's an interest for that. I just want Jav to hear this. I want Javier to know, you know, because... So are you guys here to catch up with Khabib, maybe get an autograph?
Get a picture. I have enough autographs in my collection, but...
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a picture. Just one.
Just one?
Yeah.
That's cool. So how long have you guys been UFC fans?
I kind of picked up on it around like UFC 200-ish. I kind of like climbed into the sport slowly. I used to watch boxing, and then you know, it just kind of pops up. I watched UFC 205. That was one of my first events. Like, I watched from top to bottom, and seeing what Khabib did to Michael Johnson, and then you know, and parallel to that, Conor was fighting, and I thought, like, you know, like, this guy just went out there and killed this guy, and this guy went out there and, you know, dominated Alvarez, and I, you know, I kind of in my head envisioned they're gonna collapse one day and they're gonna fight each other, and they're gonna just, you know, and it happened, and thankfully the good guy won.
Well, was it what you expected? I mean, were you living in fear of the punch? Because a lot of people are worried right now. They're worried for Khabib. Of course they are. They're worried every time he fights because they love him. Yeah. They want to protect him. But remember, he's Khabib. That's what they forget, right?
He proves time and time again that he was able to dominate his adversity and like destroys their competition each time he fights. Like, look what happened to Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. Everyone was saying how they're gonna beat Khabib and stuff, but the result speaks for itself.
Yeah, he doesn't talk much. He's more of a man of action, right?
I think my biggest fear is the weight cut, because I know that, you know, Khabib is a very big 155er. So is Tony, but it's always a concern that a fight might get canceled because of a weight cut. I'm not really... At first, I was watching like promos and I was thinking, Tony's got a really good ground game, but, you know, so did RDA, Rafael Dos Anjos. He's a black belt. Tavares, black belt. Khabib knocked him out.
Dustin's a black belt as well.
Dustin's a black belt too. Dustin's a black belt too. But Tavares and RDA, they're strong in the jiu-jitsu game, and, you know, he was able to be in RDA's guard, and I really hope that my biggest like hope for this fight is I saw Kevin Lee with a staph infection, a young, before his prime Kevin Lee, take Ferguson down and mount him in the first round. And you know, if Kevin Lee with a staph infection can do that, I would like to imagine that Khabib can do that and probably capitalize on it.
Well, you guys ever watch any Russian fights on YouTube?
Yeah, so my first introduction to MMA was my dad. He would always tell me about Fedor, and I remember Fedor came to San Jose with Bellator. I think it was like 2016. I forgot who he fought. And yeah, I love watching Fedor. He has a similar sambo style as Khabib, so yeah.
A little different. The Dagestanis, they have more of an edge. Even, you know, I mean, if you could, I would bet if you had a heavyweight Habib versus a heavyweight Fedor, I think Habib style would take it. I just have a feeling because we have a guy that's trained here. Are you familiar with Blagoy Ivanov?
Ivanov, yes.
He beat Habib. No, he beat not Habib. He beat
Taito Ivasa.
No, he beat
He beat Taito Ivasa, and then he fought Derek Lewis, and he lost the bullshit decision.
Right?
Yeah.
Cobra.
Bullshit decision.
But also, guess who also he beat? I mean, I'm going to see if the guys are coming out here.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap this up, and we're gonna hit you guys later and catch you in the next time because Habib might be walking out, and your opportunity to catch him for a photo. I don't want you to miss it.
Yeah. No. What? Who did he beat? You were saying?
No, what I was trying to say is Blagoy beat Fedor in Sambo.
Oh, wow.
You guys didn't know that. See, there's some hidden knowledge. That's what I was trying to tell you. So you look at the styles, and you didn't know that.
Yeah,
but then, unfortunately, Blagoy got an accident. Somebody stabbed him with a knife. Somebody attacked him. So he's been fighting. Somebody stabbed him in the heart, and he lived.
Wow.
So he carries a scar here, and the guy's still pretty badass in the UFC. It's pretty amazing.
He's like 40-something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fairly old. He used to fight for the professional fighter league when it was the World Series of fighting.
World Series of Fighting,
and I think
WSOF.
he was the heavyweight champion there.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Well, what I'm telling you guys, anybody watching the channel, is look up ACA, which is a Russian league, like I believe a Chechen league, and you'll see what happens when jiu-jitsu guys go up against Dagestani style Sambo.
Yeah.
And you'll get some more. Like, do a deep dive on YouTube, but I got to let you guys see if your buddies are coming out here.
Yeah.
Okay?
For sure.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it.